Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be giving you our 2023-2024 family subjects wrap up and summary, and then just my thoughts about the entire school year. If you have not checked out my other summaries for the school year, I did 1st, 5th, and 6th grade. I did those in the beginning with my daughters and just gave a full recap of the curriculum that each of them used. I will link it down below. It is also in the playlist where I do like review videos and stuff. I'll link that as well in case you guys are interested in watching those. My name is Morgan here at The Life of Tillmans. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. If you've been here before, welcome back. All right, I'm going to start with curriculum resources that were family subjects. The first thing is Bible. So we did a lot of not consumed Bible this school year, which was awesome. I love the not consumed resources. So we started out with the Work Unto the Lord, and each one of us has one of these books. They have them for all different age ranges. And this study, I believe, was like 20 days. They have some that are 10-day studies, some that are 30-day studies. It just depends on what you are studying. But this may have been 15 days. Let's see here. No, 20-day study. Okay. So that was really awesome. And it really helped with the perspective of why we work every day, not just like housework, chores work, how we work for our families, our jobs, how we serve within our church. It was very eye-opening, and I will definitely do this study again. So the next one we did was the Christmas one. It is Adoration at the Manger, and this was really nice for us to do during the month of December as our Christmas, I will call it, unit study for Bible. And it has 25 days in it. This was really good. We enjoyed this one as well. And then we also did Uncovering Mercies at the Cross, and this was the Resurrection Day study, and it discussed all of the different mercies and Jesus walking the earth and what he did and him dying on the cross. This was really a great study as well. Now, in between those studies, because as I said, those are like 20 to 25 days, we also did the Scripture Memory Verse Journal by Not Consumed as well. Each one of my daughters has one, and so I would work through it with my youngest daughter. My oldest daughters would do theirs. We would come together, we would cite scriptures throughout the day, and we are not done with these. We've only just like scratched the surface. So we are going to continue these in the upcoming school year in some capacity as far as the scriptures. Some other Bible things that we did the Indescribable 100 Devotions about God and Science. And this went along with our science curriculum. It was just really nice. We were studying plants at the beginning of the year, and then we also went into Heaven and Earth, Our Universe. So we studied all the planets and everything. So we chose the lessons for what we were studying. In this book, if you're not aware, it's a very popular book, but it has an area of study for space, earth, animals, and people. And so we just kind of went through and chose the ones. We worked on space, and then we worked on Earth, I think it was, when we were doing the plants one. We did that one as well. So this was a really great book to go through. We also finished off the Tiny Truths Illustrated Bible. This is really for my youngest daughter. She loved it. The stories in here are amazing. This is definitely something that we will keep around. My oldest daughters enjoyed it too, as did I. This is a great book to have. There is another one. I cannot remember the name of it. We don't have that one, but I'm considering grabbing that one as well because these were such a hit. Okay, moving on to science. So we started out the year doing Master Books God's Design for Life. And this is Life for Beginners. I did this one with my youngest daughter, first grader. And then I did the bigger book with my older girls. And this is the teacher's guide, but they have like a textbook as well. So for Mallory, this was really great for her. There's handwriting, tracing in there, a few short questions per lesson, a small project. There's usually like some type of coloring or drawing project within it. It gives the definitions. This was good. She enjoyed this for plants. We did not do animals or the human body. We did the human body last school year. We studied animals the year before that as well, so we haven't gotten to those. I'm still hanging on to this book because she may go back and do the animal study and the human body again before she times out of this book. I believe this is, it's grade levels K through 2. So we may. It just depends on how things go. This was a good book for us. And what I like about doing these is they work together. So the same subject matter that she's studying in here, my older girls were studying in theirs as well. And that is what I really enjoy about family subjects, is that you can just do it all at the same time. So I would go over the lesson with my older girls and they would start answering the questions, and then it would take me maybe 10 minutes to do the lesson with Mallory in this book, and everybody's getting the same lesson, and then we would go into the projects. I will say that we will not be using Master Books Science again this upcoming school year. I think that we have timed out of it as for a family subject, especially my older daughters. Within the Master Books curriculum for the older children, there are boxes. There's a green box and a blue box. And one of those boxes, the green box, I believe is for the older children, and the blue box is for the younger. Well, this year we discovered that my older two daughters were too advanced for the blue box, and there was not enough, I'll say, activity for the green box for them. I say for them, for my middle daughter. My oldest daughter was completely fine with it because she's not a science fan as is. So the least amount of science she can get away with, that's what she wants to go with. It has served us well, but I think it's time for us to move on to something else. It has been helpful. We have used a lot of Master Books curriculum over the years, and they serve us for a time, and that's great, and that's what it's all about. And then we transition to something else. So if you're ever wondering if the God's Design for Life is a good curriculum, and this is for grades 3rd through 8th grade, I definitely think it's not advanced enough, in my opinion, for a 7th, 8th grader, and then probably too advanced for a 3rd grader. Like, I can't imagine doing this with my 3rd grade daughter, like when she gets to that point. I just don't think that this would serve her well. So this is a good book. I would probably say age range maybe like 4th through 6th, 7th, maybe pushing it, because it just wasn't what my girls were really looking for as we got through the school year. But we did finish it, and so Master Books have served us well. I have nothing against the curriculum at all, because after we finished the God's Design for Life and Plants, we went on to Master Books Heaven and Earth, and we did our universe, which is universe for beginners. So I did this one with my baby girl. So we have not touched the weather and water for beginners or planet Earth for beginners. And there's a possibility that for her, we may go back to that. We'll see. This book is also for K through 2nd grade. She could possibly use it as a 3rd grader. It just depends. The content is really the same as when you go into the older books. It's just a little bit more detailed. So it really just depends on what you are looking for. But she really enjoyed doing this for our universe. My oldest daughters did this one. They did our universe as well. It was a great unit for us. We kind of fizzled out toward the end. Some things that I don't really think that worked for us, and this is just because of how we operate. Having all the science experiments and activities at the end of the lesson, there were several days we would do the lesson, and by the time it was time to get to the science experiment, we didn't want to do it, or we already knew how to do it. We knew the outcome of the science experiment, not even by reading the book, just studying the lesson. And so it didn't leave a whole lot to be desired, like it was kind of like, well, we know that this is what's going to happen based off of what we've already read and how the project goes, and so we didn't really need to do it. So that stopped us from doing some of the science projects as well, because when you already know what the end result is going to be and what it looks like and all of that, it takes the fun away from doing the projects. So we probably did about 50% of the science projects for our universe in this book. And so I will say this again, this is not a reflection of Master Books curriculum. We have used a lot of Master Books curriculum over our homeschool years. I just think that it's just time for us to move on to something else. All right, so let's talk about history. The first thing we started out using this school year for history was Master Books again, America's Story 2. And we did the audio version this year, and it really helped us to be able to get through it a lot faster than I thought we would. We actually did 3 to 4 lessons per week, because we would listen to the audio version, then we would talk about the questions, and we would do some of the geography work, and that was it. It was exactly what my girls needed in order to get their American history, and we enjoyed it. And we also coupled it with our history, his story, and this curriculum adds in the African American, Native American, Asian perspective into U.S. history. And so rounding out our history to make it a well-rounded curriculum for the Tillman household. That is the reason why I added in this curriculum. So when we finished this, which was like, I don't know, maybe like October or November or so, we went solely to this one because we weren't quite done. So we did have some overlap in some of the concepts, or not concepts, but the years and the time frames and time periods within U.S. history, but that's okay because we did this one using lots of picture books. I will go back and say, once we finished America's Story 2, we then decided that we did not want to do America's Story 3. It just wasn't working for us and what we were looking for. And my girls started to kind of get a little bit bored. I think Angela Odell did a great job of narrating for the audio version. So if you are getting America's Story, they have audio versions for America's Story 1, 2, and 3. And that was so helpful because we spent a lot of time in the car, especially at the beginning of the school year with volleyball. So we would listen to the lesson, we would discuss the questions. The questions are also listed. They're a part of the audio. And so we didn't necessarily have to have the book, although we did always take it with us because one of my daughters likes to follow along in the book. But she narrated very, very well, asked the questions, we had the discussion, and they got their history lesson. And it wasn't this long, drawn out, write everything down, answer every question, write an essay type of thing for us. And that is what we need for our history. Not everybody feels the same way about that, and I get that. But for us, history is one of those areas that we need to get it and we're done. I don't have my girls write history papers or things like that. It is like open discussion. That will probably change, of course, as they transition into high school, which I completely understand, but we're not there yet. And so we still have the opportunity to be able to do more audio books, picture books, just really learning history through books and watching videos, and it's been great for us. So speaking of that, Our History, this is volume 1, and it goes up to maybe about 1865, I believe, somewhere in that range. We finished this one. Lots of picture books, different activities, some map work, and it's really geared toward the elementary years. However, with my oldest daughter being in middle school, she still was able to get everything in history that we needed to talk about or that we wanted to talk about. A lot of times she would read the chapter books or the picture books that go along with this curriculum, and it worked out great for us. So once we finished that one, we then moved on to Our History volume 2. And this covers like 1865 up until present day. And we are currently still working through this. I don't know if we're going to be able to finish it before we start world history. I will see. The goal is to do so. As I said before, it's lots of books and we do a lot of reading anyway, but we're about to head into a busy summer. Speaking of which, if you want to know our summer plans, curriculum videos, all the things, all that stuff is coming out. So be sure to subscribe because it's like rolling out really fast. I got kind of behind on videos, but I think we're going to continue this. Now, there was definitely some overlap between moving to this curriculum and finishing America's Story 2. So where I'm going to feel like I'm going to be able to make up time is everything that we already covered in America's Story 2. We will skip that for this, and that will take us closer to the end of the curriculum. And we'll finish up over the summer and then move on to our world history studies. So a really cool thing that I got, and this is from History by Mail. They sent me letters. And History by Mail, I say letters, but these are historic documents from specified time frames in American history. And I love that. So when you get your History by Mail, it comes like this, and this is a subscription that you can do. And they will send you a letter. Like this one is a letter from Annie Oakley to President McKinley on April 5th of 1898, which was great because we have already studied that time frame, and this was a perfect letter to go along with it. And so this is a transcript of the letter, specifically from Annie Oakley. Now, this is what the original looked like. Now, who can read this, y'all? We really tried. So that is why they have the transcript of this, and I love it. And they also give you details of that person's life and this letter and history about that person. We have enjoyed the History by Mail. So what I'm going to do is I'm not ever going to get rid of these, because these are still good references, great references actually, to use when my girls have to study U.S. history again, because they will study U.S. history again in high school. It's just a part of what they have to do. So I will put these in a 3-ring binder for history resources, and they will stay there and we will use them again. I also have another one. So I have 3 of these, and this one, let's see details on here. This is Eisenhower's Order of the Day and Sketch of D-Day Platoon Leader. This is from June 6th of 1944, and we have not gotten to that part of our American history. And so this is going to be the perfect resource for us to use to add in, and it's more of a supplement, right? So you add it into what you're already studying. And so it has on here D-Day planning, Operation Overload. On the back, it has the Battle of Normandy. And then on the back, it has other information for us to really look over. And it really just kind of places you in that time period for history. I have one more to share with you guys, and this is History by Mail. I will link them down below if you are interested in doing any of their subscription packages, but History by Mail is pretty awesome. So another one is, this is a check for the purchase of Alaska on August the 1st, 1868. And here's the check, y'all. Like, isn't that crazy? I think it's so cool. So this letter goes into detail about what was happening in that time frame and Alaska being purchased, and just more history to add to your history resources. So I love History by Mail. I really truly thank them for sending me these resources as well to preview and check out and share with you guys. So if you are interested in History by Mail, I will link them down below for you. So in my overall thoughts about our homeschool year, this was a tough year. I shared that in my videos, but it was a year of growth, not just for my girls, but a lot for me, and a lot of research and navigation. We went through our first year of middle school, and while I thought it was going to be like this terrible thing, just super, super hard, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. And that's good. And I'll share this in a convention video actually, but our struggles are not always bad. The things that we struggle with homeschooling our children aren't necessarily bad. They're opportunities for growth, and they really help stretch us. And we need that. And I was truly stretched this year between Team Mom for volleyball and homeschooling and extracurricular activities and remodeling on our home and finances and friendships and relationships with family. There's been a lot of stretching that has happened for me this year, and a lot of leaning on God and trusted wise counsel. And there's been a lot that's gone on this year, but I can truly say that I'm grateful for the year. We will always have times where we have to grow and really sit back and look at ourselves. Like, we have to sit back and look at ourselves and say, how can you do this? Where are you pulling your strength from? What is your motivation? Why do you do this? And not just homeschooling, any and everything that we do in life, there should be a why behind that. Otherwise, we just get lost. We get lost and we're just floating back and forth, back and forth. And so while I didn't necessarily like being stretched, that refining process, it hurts. It can be confusing. You have to lean on your faith in God, because you have no idea where you're going. And sometimes He don't even bother to tell you because sometimes we can't handle that. Seeing where we're going, and He's that light for us, and He's like, just follow me. While it was a hard year, we accomplished so much, and I thank God for that. I'm so proud of my girls for pushing through. I'm proud of myself, and I'll say that. Like, I'm proud of myself for pushing through and continuing to work hard. And we just ended our 7th year of homeschooling, which is insane to me. But we did it, and we did an amazing thing with it. So I'm excited about what's to come. I have a whole stack of curriculum sitting here looking at me right now like, hey, come on, it's time. But we're finishing out this year strong. I hope if you've ended the school year already that it was an amazing end, that you are relaxing. And if you still have a few more days to go, hang on in there, you guys. And I will see you guys in just a little while for some curriculum stuff. Bye.